Hey guys, thank you for watching the Slat Rock channel. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and hit the bell icon to get notified every time we post a new video. If you've already done so, just check and confirm. Guys, today we present you with 10 recent deaths of wrestlers we totally forgot. Number 10. The Mongolian Stomper. Although he was born in Canada and spent large amounts of his professional life in the southern United States, Archie Gould was nonetheless best known in America as the Mongolian Stomper. He also wrestled under his real name throughout Canada, though his trademark generally remained stomping on his victims' chests regardless of his moniker. The Stomper's great successes came as the top heel of Stampede Wrestling, where he was the North American champion a record 14 times. He wrestled world-famous superstars like former NWA champion Pat O'Connor, former AWA British champion Billy Robinson, and Canadian legend Stu Hart. His feud with Hart got so intense it caused Hart's son Brett, who would of course become a legend himself, to refer to the Stomper as one of his favorite wrestlers of the era. Stomper kept wrestling into his 50s, heading to Memphis for a feud with Jerry Lawler and then Smoky Mountain Wrestling to feud with Kevin Sullivan, ultimately retiring in 1995. Stomper began suffering Alzheimer's sometime around 2011 and ultimately passed away on January 23, 2016 after complications from a fall, aged 78. Number 9. Hayabusa. While never a particularly big star in America, the wrestler best known as Hayabusa was a huge star in Japan, particularly for the hardcore promotion Frontier Martial Arts Wrestling. Born Eiji Izaki, he made his debut for All Japan Pro Wrestling in 1987 and found little success, jumping to the nascent FMW for the first time in 1991. At the suggestion of FMW founder Atsushi Oneida, Izaki went to Mexico and studied lucha libre from 1993 to 1995, developing a more aerial style and creating the Hayabusa name and character. He returned to FMW and soon became the top star of the promotion by wrestling in highly dangerous barbed wire, explosion, and cage matches. During this period, he would occasionally wrestle without a mask using the simplistic moniker H. In addition to his many FMW classics, Hayabusa made at least one appearance in ECW, teaming with Jinsei Shinsaki, aka Hakushi, against the then ECW Tag Team Champions Sabu and Rob Van Dam. Hayabusa's career came crashing to a halt after a horrible in-ring accident in 2001 left him paralyzed from the neck down. Though he appeared to be gradually recovering, Izaki suffered a subarachnoid hemorrhage on March 3, 2016, causing his death at the age of 47. Number 8. Iron Mike Sharpe. Though he would ultimately become one of the standout jobbers of the 1980s, Iron Mike Sharpe was actually born with wrestling in his blood, as he was the son of wrestler Mike Sharpe Sr. The elder Sharpe was famous throughout Canada for a tag team with his brother, and Iron Mike made the decision to follow in his father's footsteps by training with the Missing Link in 1973. Calling Sharpe a career jobber wouldn't be entirely fair, as he made his 1983 WWE debut as a top-level heel, proclaiming himself Canada's greatest athlete and acquiring the services of legendary manager Captain Lou Albano. Sharpe came up short in his one shot at WWE champion Bob Backlund, and soon started his descent to the bottom of the card, where he stayed until he left WWE in 1995. Sharpe still managed to participate in a few high-profile bouts along the way, including a run as Hulk Hogan's tag team partner in Japan. He later became a successful trainer, having a hand in melding the legacies of future stars like Nova, Charlie Haas, and Crowbar. Sharpe passed away due to undisclosed causes on January 17, 2016. He was 64. Number 7. Blackjack Mulligan. The patriarch of the Wyndham Wyatt wrestling family, Robert Wyndham started his career as Big Bob Wyndham in 1967. He competed for the AWA until 1971, when he jumped to WWE and earned his more famous nickname, Blackjack Mulligan. He was so hated as a top heel that a fan once jumped the rails to stab him in the leg, which had the side effect of slowing him down and making him take a few years off. On the plus side, when he returned, he linked up with a second Blackjack, John Lanza. The Blackjacks held a number of regional NWA Tag Team Championships throughout the country, in addition to the WWE World Tag Team Championships. Mulligan in particular would bounce back and forth between the WWE and a number of NWA affiliates, also forming a successful championship-winning team with the Nature Boy Ric Flair. On top of his own sterling career, Mulligan's true legacy may come from his family, being the father of Kendall and Barry Windham and the father-in-law of Mike Rotunda. This also makes him the grandfather of Bray Wyatt and Bo Dallas. Mulligan suffered a heart attack in late 2015 and never fully recovered, ultimately passing away on April 7, 2016 at the age of 73. Number 6. Balls Mahoney. Jonathan Reckner started his career in 1987 under the name Abuda Singh. He went by names like Boo Bradley, his birth name, and the would-be career-killing gimmick of Santa Claus, somehow recovering with a run in ECW as a hardcore chair-swinging freak named Balls Mahoney. He started as a solo power wrestler, but found more success when he earned his reputation by literally and constantly swinging chairs like a hardcore freak with his partner Axl Rosten. Though he and Rotten never won any gold, Mahoney later teamed up with Masato Tanaka and briefly won the ECW Tag Team Championships from the Dudley Boys. Another team with Spike Dudley would net Mahoney 2 more runs with the belts. After ECW went out of business, Mahoney kept competing on the independent scene until Vince McMahon revived the brand in 2005. Mahoney would experience a moderately high-profile angle with the various female superstars of ECW over the next few years, though he would never win another championship or wrestle in a particularly notable match. He died suddenly in April 2016 after suffering a heart attack while watching Jeopardy! Number 5. Axl Rotten. In naming himself after rock stars Axl Rose and Johnny Rotten, Brian Knighton was setting a high standard of outlandish behavior that he more than lived up to as Axl Rotten. Axl trained a wrestler named John Williams, who then adapted a persona as Axl's brother Ian, and the two formed a tag team called the Bad Breed. The team broke up after a match at ECW November to Remember 1994, and engaged in a feud against one another in a series of increasingly violent matches over the next year. Rotten went on to form another tag team with Balls Mahoney known as the Hardcore Chair-Swinging Freaks, and although they never achieved any championship success, they nonetheless became one of the most popular duos in ECW at the time they were around. Rotten appeared at WWE's ECW One Night Stand in 2005 and wrestled a number of dark matches for the company that year, though it never turned into a full-time deal. Late in his career, Rotten suffered a spinal injury that forced him into retirement. He was found dead on February 4, 2016 after overdosing on heroin. He was 44. Number 4. Lord Littlebrook. The world being a much different place today than it was in the late 1940s, chances are a wrestler like Lord Littlebrook would never stand a chance in the modern WWE universe. This is because Littlebrook was one of the world's most famous miniature wrestlers, standing tall at 4 foot 4 inches and weighing only 108 pounds. His small stature was made up for with his explosive high-flying presence, predating wrestlers like Jimmy Snuka and the Rockers in regularly jumping off the ropes and relying on aerial attacks to overpower his opponents. He competed all over the world, becoming especially popular in Australia, Japan, Thailand, his native England, and the United States, where he worked for all of the top companies around, including the AWA, WCW, NWA, and WWE. Littlebrook's highest profile match was without a doubt his 6-man tag team encounter at WrestleMania 3, when he teamed with Little Tokyo and King Kong Bundy against the triumvirate of Hillbilly Jim, the Haiti Kid, and Little Beaver. After a long battle with Alzheimer's disease and cancer, Littlebrook passed away on September 9, 2016 at the age of 87. Number 3. Kris Travis. Being the lowest profile wrestler on our list in no way makes the death of Kris Travis any less of a tragedy, especially when one considers he's also the youngest person unfortunate enough to appear on it. Travis made his wrestling debut in 2002 for Grand Pro Wrestling, spending almost his entire career in his native England and forming a popular group known as Project Ego. He also wrestled for the German promotion Westside Extreme Wrestling and the American TNA, albeit during the company's British Boot Camp series. Travis had to take a leave of absence from wrestling in 2014 when he was diagnosed with stomach cancer. Wrestlers big and small voiced their support for his battle, including WWE superstars like CM Punk and Chris Jericho. Travis recovered enough to return to the ring in August of 2015, but his cancer returned the next month and he was forced to retire. He passed away on March 31, 2016, at the age of 32. Although he never competed in WWE, his death was a black mark on the WrestleMania 32 weekend festivities, with superstars like Kevin Owens, Paige, and Finn Balor all offering varying levels of tribute. Number 2. Frenchy Martin. Fans who only know Frenchy Martin from his short tenure in WWE probably think that all he did was wear a monocle and wear a sign that read, "USA is not okay." With all due respect, that is about all he did while working for Vince McMahon. But the man really named Jean Gagne was actually a considerable star throughout both his native Canada and the more hardcore wrestling promotions popular in Puerto Rico throughout the 1970s. He wrestled under a handful of different names, including his birth name, Martin Pierre Martel, Masked Cyclops, Don Gagne, Mad Dog Martin, and half of a tag team with Mikel Martel known as the Mercenaries. In one of his highest profile encounters, Martin survived a 60-minute time-limit draw with then NWA World Champion Ric Flair. He retired from wrestling in 1990 and began suffering the effects of bladder cancer in 2015. The disease spread to include bone cancer as well, and he succumbed to the combination on October 21, 2016. He was 69 years old. Number 1. Mr. Fuji. Having learned the finer points of deviousness from his trainer Nick Bockwinkel, Mr. Fuji started wrestling for independent wrestling promotions around the West Coast in the mid-1960s. Fuji jumped to WWE in 1972 and formed a legendary team with Professor Toru Tanaka, winning the WWE Tag Team Championships 3 times and feuding with Pedro Morales and Bruno Sammartino in a number of main events. He later formed a second tag team with Mr. Saito, with whom he would win another 2 WWE Tag Team Championships. For all of Fuji's successes as a wrestler, he was arguably even more famous for his time as a manager, leading superstars like Demolition, Don Muraco, and Yokozuna to the ring during the peaks of their own legendary careers. He faded away from WWE and the wrestling community altogether in 1996, only occasionally showing up in pictures highlighting his progressively ailing health. He passed away on August 28, 2016 at the age of 82 with no official cause of death listed. Well guys, that's our list. Can you think of any other wrestlers who died in the last couple of years that we may have also forgotten about? Leave us a comment down below and let us know. If you like this video, don't forget to check out our previous video, Top 10 WWE Wrestlers You Probably Didn't Know Never Made Friends with Their Fellow Wrestlers During Their Wrestling Career. Also check out our other high-rated videos by clicking at the upper right-hand corner or down in the description field. Now if you did like this video, don't forget you can hit that like button, you can subscribe to this channel for more videos just like this one, you can hit that bell icon and get notified every time we post a new video. And you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Google+, and as always, thanks for watching.